Good evening. Um, so we're here to talk about decentralization, but I feel there is a paradox because the reason we're here is because of governments, the most centralized institution ever. What's the connection? Well, governments are scared that the world is changing, and it is very much. Geopolitical instabilities, defense concerns is what driving us to think about decentralization. And decentralization is expensive. It costs a lot of money to disentangle those complex supply chains. And it's fundamentally anti-economical. And so governments need to support the decentralization processes we care about. And the way to do that is, through grants, through subsidies. Think about the CHIPS Act. So why am I telling you all this? Well, this panel is about defense, and I think defense is playing this fundamental glue between decentralization and governments. So we are a chip manufacturer, so we are at the heart of it all in this process. We are fortunate enough to have a supply chain that is entirely based in the EU and the US. We go from the raw materials down to the control software that we use to control our chips. Everything is built in-house. Our chips are built for quantum applications. Quantum is a technology that is hugely backed by governments, mostly to get an upper hand over their adversaries, both in China and Europe and the US. This is happening, something that is little known, but the public investments in quantum technologies announced today are much higher in China than in the EU and the US. I mean, more than the combined value figure of the US and Europe has been announced in China. And so as literally every company I know of in the quantum space, we are also backed by governments and international organizations. And one thing that we feel a lot, and I think will play out considerably in this whole decentralization process, is how government are supporting companies like our. And I think this problem is particularly acute in the dual use space. We are, among others, we're backed by NATO, part of the inaugural Diana cohort, this new NATO program designed to back startups building new technologies. And what we see literally across every governmental organization we work with is that governments need to change how they back and support startups. And I don't want to sound like just say the usual libertarian spiel, but there is too much administrative complexity. There's too much bureaucracy. So if this decentralization process needs to happen quickly, governments need to change how they back startups. And just one super simple example, I think there's a huge and little known tax on innovators, and this tax is the consulting companies that we all have to pay to process these grants. Just to apply to a grant and the administrative complexity that then comes is enormous. And if decentralization has to happen. Governments need to change how they back innovators. Thank you.